Good morning, Cross Church family. Happy Monday. It's just great being with you guys yesterday in church, and I love seeing everybody. I hope your week is off to a good start, and just remember to keep that one foot in front of the other. That's what we're trying to do here. And I do want to give a shout out to Tom and Annette, and I just love hearing all the great news coming from their camp, and just the great things that she's doing. And she's just a warrior. And all the just miracles that are taking place in her life, small miracles, big miracles, and we just want to continue to pray for her 100% restoration. And we love you, Tom. We love you, Annette, and you are being prayed for. We are with you, and we are here for you. Just know that. I want to just not keep you long this morning, but a fun fact about me, and some of you might know this, but I have seen every episode of Everybody Loves Raymond. There's 210 episodes. I've seen every one of them. Some of them more than once. But I actually loved this show back. I mean, I started watching the show like 15 years ago. I'm not much of a binge watcher. It was kind of a situation where I was binge watching before binge watching was cool, if you will. But I have seen every episode. I have all the DVDs. So if you ever need to borrow like season 5, season 9, whatever, I got you. So just know that. But I've even done a couple Bible studies on several of the episodes, and so it's just a great show. And another show that I really loved to watch when I was growing up was The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There was about 150 episodes of that show. I don't claim to have watched every one of those shows, but I saw a lot of those shows. I was an avid watcher, and just I love the concept of that show as well. And one of the episodes that really sticks out to me was an episode where Hillary, which would have been Will's cousin, remember she was kind of the dingy, didn't really know a lot what was going on like real life. She was just kind of living in the Twilight Zone, but she was being proposed to by her boyfriend Trevor. And Trevor was going to do this on live television. And so Trevor just had this great idea that he was going to get on top of a bridge and bungee jump. And while he was bungee jumping, he was going to propose to Hillary. And it was just going to be a great proposal, live television. So the whole family's around watching this take place. And he's tied off to the bridge. And he starts to jump off of the bridge. And he starts to propose. He says, "Hillary, will you marry?" Splat, crunch, slam, whatever you want to call it. And he hits the ground. And then the TV goes blank. And I don't remember what it said, but basically, stay tuned or whatever. And there was just this awkward silence that went on for about 15 or 20 seconds on the show. And Will just finally says, "I ain't no bungee jumping expert, but I don't think he's supposed to be slamming in the ground like that." And just what truth there is in that. None of us are bungee jumping experts that I know of, but we know that you hitting the ground while you're bungee jumping is probably not supposed to happen. So there was a mishap somewhere to make you hit the ground, whether the cord broke or you weren't tied off right. So we know enough about bungee jumping to know that you're not supposed to be hitting the ground like that. And I think we can really apply this concept to our lives in terms of how we try to complicate our walk, our faith. And we really try to complicate things we dabble in sin a lot of times. We resist the nudge of the Spirit. Oftentimes we pick and choose parts of the Bible that we want to believe in. I think a big one nowadays, with all the COVID going on and just the different seclusion that we've experienced, is that, we've become people that sometimes will resist fellowship, whatever that looks like, whether it's not coming to church or, missing a Bible study here or a small group there, whatever that might look like. A big one that we've been talking about here lately with my brother is just that going to that secret place, that quiet place, and being able to experience the silence and the Spirit. And those things are just my list. I mean, your list might look different than mine, but those are the way we complicate our Christian life. But it doesn't need to be about rules and regulations and laws. Yeah, those things are great. They're there to acknowledge wrong and right. But Jesus says in Matthew 22, he says, the disciples are like, which is the greatest commandment? And Jesus says what? He says, love God, love people. It doesn't get any simpler than that. You can sum up all the laws, all the do's and don'ts by two: love God, love people. And when we try to complicate what's going on in our lives, it's because, we try to think that we've got to make this list of do's and don'ts and all these different, just concepts of things we need to get done or didn't do or, need to do or whatever. And it just complicates things. And when we are confused and when we're complicating things, we're moving backwards. And that's what the devil wants. He wants us to move backwards. But God is not the author of confusion. He's the author of simplicity, of plainness, of just being just easy. And it doesn't need to be complicated. And that's exactly what the devil wants. And God does not want that. He wants things to be simple. It allows us to move forward. So as we kind of finish up here, I want you to just think about this for a second. If you can say this to yourself and say, I ain't no Christian expert, but my life is not supposed to look like this, right? That's kind of what Will said. I almost said Will Ferrell, but that's what Will Smith said. He said, I'm not an expert, but you know what? It's not supposed to be like this. We don't have to be an expert in the Bible or just in general about our faith. We don't have to know everything, but at the same time, we've got to know that it's not supposed to be this difficult. It's not supposed to be this confusing. It's not supposed to be this hard, because we try to overcomplicate things. So what we need to understand is that two things need to happen: love God, love people. And when we do that, it really just makes things easy, plain, black and white, and there's no confusion there for us. And one of the greatest songs that I think that we sing at church is a song called Make Room. And the very, very end of that song, it just completely just repeats over and over again, your way is better, your way is better. And when we turn that around and say, my way is better, the way I do things is better, and that's what we often do. But if we can understand that his way is better, then the confusion will cease. It will. Because we practice those two: love God, love people. We've got it. And there's no confusion. And we're moving forward. We're not moving backwards. We're taking one step forward. We're not taking one step forward and two steps back. We are moving along and having a great walk in our Christian faith. Hope this message finds you well this morning. And thank you for taking the time to watch. If you need anything from us, don't hesitate to reach out. Take care.